Yeah, you can't do those things and expect to go on the road and win, and just frustrated to not play clean football on offense, defense, and special teams. Just can't do it on the road versus a good football team, and we got to get it fixed because, before you start winning, you got to stop losing. We're doing some things right now that are preventing us from winning.
I know we're 1-4. We're all frustrated. Can we have a slight laugh here?
I'd like to have a laugh.
All right. So Jerry Jeudy today was asked about the Browns' 4-quarterback plan from camp and the reps given to Flacco and Pickett, who are no longer here, and whether that was a waste of time. I would dare say he dropped the answer on this.
I won't say a waste of time. I don't know what that was. I'm pretty sure everybody thought they'll still be here throughout the season, but things change.
Well, it wasn't a waste of time.
I don't know what that was. An honest answer in the moment.
Yep.
Of like, I'm trying to. Those are the moments where athletes they get to be livid at the situation, and they get to be mad that they have to be the meat shield and the ones that stand in and try to justify a decision by a front office and coaching staff that they don't even agree with.
I just love that he was just flat out like, I don't know what to call it. That's just so that's endearing. Like when somebody gives you I didn't hear any vitriol, I didn't hear any frustration. I just heard I cannot call it a waste of time.
Yeah,
not allowed to call it a waste of time. I also don't know what it was.
I think we need to add this to the Kevin Stefanski criticism board as we move forward. The idea that, and it was not just a local, this was a national narrative in training camp moving up to.
What happens when Jeudy suddenly decides to drop truth bombs like he's on a mission to expose the NFL's hidden drama? And somehow, Kevin Stefanski ends up looking like he just benched his own job. You already know who's sitting right in the center of the storm, Shedeur Sanders. This isn't your regular football news. This is a full-blown soap opera with cleats and chaos. So hit that like button, subscribe, and tell us, did Stefanski really just snub the future face of Cleveland football? It all started like any regular week in Cleveland. Cloudy skies, quiet nerves, and a fan base trying to believe again after years of heartbreak. Everything felt calm until Jerry Jeudy decided to light the fuse and toss a verbal grenade straight into Kevin Stefanski's tidy little playbook. In seconds, peace turned to panic. Tweets started flying, fans lost their minds, and Browns Nation nearly dropped their morning coffee. Word spread that the coach had done something so wild, so against football politics, that it could shatter what little hope Cleveland had left. He snubbed Shedeur Sanders. Now let's be clear. You don't just snub Shadur Sanders. That's like forgetting to plug in your phone and then wondering,
man, what is going on in Cleveland with Kevin Stefanski and his quarterback situation after Joe Flacco has been traded to the Cincinnati, man. Kevin Stefanski, the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, he is diabolical. Now, we know that Joe Flacco was traded yesterday to the Cincinnati Bengals. And what does that mean? What does that do for Shedeur Sanders? Well, we all know Shadur Sanders was the emergency quarterback. He was the QB3. And Dylan Gabriel was...
Why it's dead. The man's not just a quarterback. He's a headline, a movement, a walking masterclass in confidence. But Stefanski? Oh, he went full throwback coach mode, the kind who probably still thinks the forward pass ruined football. And that didn't sit right with Jerry Jeudy, not one bit. He saw it, he called it, and suddenly, Cleveland's locker room turned into a live stream debate about pride, progress, and pure ego. The second Jerry Jeudy's comments hit the airwaves, it was like the football gods hit pause on the whole league. In just one moment, he didn't only defend Shedeur Sanders, he might have exposed something way deeper. A pattern, hiding right in front of everyone's face. You could feel the tension explode inside Cleveland's locker room, like someone yanked out the coach's headset mid-play. And here's where it gets wild. Jerry didn't just say Stefanski made a bad call. No, he basically hinted that the man's whole quarterback philosophy might be as outdated as a flip phone. Instantly, the internet lost its mind. Browns fans were connecting dots like detectives on Reddit, and the theories went crazy.
Fat, I'll take any questions.
What's the number one thing offensively?
Well, yeah, I don't think it's as simple as that, Zach. Obviously, today we weren't able to run the ball effectively. and then got behind there in the second half. 0 for 3 in the red zone. I know those were 2-minute drives, a lot of them, but we gotta find a way to score points. Got to run the ball efficiently. Got to find a way to be better in the pass game. All of the above.
With some of the Steelers, did you couldn't run, or with something else?
Yeah, I mean, obviously give credit to your opponent, but we just we got to do a better job.
Was this about ego? Was Stefanski intimidated by Shedeur's rising spotlight? Or maybe he just couldn't handle that kind of swagger in his locker room? Because let's be honest, Shedeur doesn't just walk into a room, he owns it. He's got the energy of a Super Bowl champ before even stepping on the field. Meanwhile, Stefanski gives off serious, I alphabetize my playbook and press my khakis, energy, oil, and water, spark, and gasoline. The chemistry was never built.
So after watching this Stefanski press conference after the Cleveland Browns lost to the Steelers today, 23-9, Dylan Gabriel threw 52 pass attempts, 6 sacks, average of 4 yards per pass. Stefanski has zero intention on putting Shedeur Sanders in any game this season. He said he's confident in his guy. He's a tough guy. He's going to be do or die
to last. And here's the funniest part. The Browns, yes, those Browns are right back in the center of a media circus before they've even lost a game. Only in Cleveland could the preseason feel like a season finale. Every time this team starts building real momentum, somebody finds a way to start another subplot. And this one, it's a blockbuster. It's got everything. Drama, loyalty, locker room politics, and a rising star whose hype could melt the entire AFC North. Meanwhile, Shadur Sanders, he's just chilling somewhere in designer shades, calm and confident, like all of this is just background noise. And let's be real, this hit Kevin Stefanski right where it hurts. The man's entire identity is built on control, structure, and perfectly drawn up game plans. But the NFL doesn't reward safe anymore. It rewards chaos. Flash sells, personality sells, and Shadur Sanders is the chaos the league's built for. You can almost picture that Cleveland locker room after Jeudy dropped his bomb, tension thick enough to cut with a helmet. Players side-eyeing each other, pretending not to hear, while a few probably texted their agents under the table. The Browns' PR team must have hit DEFCON 1 trying to decide if they should issue a statement or just start praying. Because once that door opens, it's not just about Shedeur anymore. It's about respect.
If this bugs Andrew Berry at all.
I was talking about Stefanski.
Oh, yeah. No, 100%.
He gets bothered by everything.
And I think that's where, if Stefanski feels like Shedeur has become a distraction, I guess my problem is
Stefanski doesn't have power to do anything at this point.
But I think my problem is Shedeur's become a distraction. Because I don't think it's Shedeur. Shedeur doesn't, yes, he can absolutely get more people talking about him by miming and stuff like that. But, like, he's not out there getting in legal trouble, right? He's not out there being accused of what certain dudes in that locker room have been accused of. He's not coming out and saying inflammatory things. So, like, I don't get Kevin's side of this, other than there's just a lot of natural noise that comes with Shedeur, at which point, oh well, he's a member of the team.
Leadership and the silent war between new school players and old school coaches. Judy didn't just call out Stefanski's decision, he cracked open a league-wide problem. This isn't just about who throws the prettiest spiral, it's about who controls the spotlight. And right now, Shedeur Sanders doesn't just step into a room, he owns it. He's Daon's son, sure, but he's not hiding behind that name. He's building his own legend faster than anyone could have predicted. You see it in his walk, his calm under pressure, and the way headlines seem to chase him like paparazzi chasing a Kardashian limo. But let's pull back for a second. This is Cleveland, the city that's practically built an entire personality around heartbreak and hope. For years, they've been begging for something new, a spark, a reason to believe again. And now, for the first time in forever,
Stefanski is now saying, over my dead body will Shedeur get a shot. This is all-time shameful on the part of Kevin Stefanski. He won't even speak Shedeur's name in these interview sessions. There's just a principle involved here where at least you acknowledge that by default, Flacco is now gone. Shadur moved up a slot. He's second on the depth chart. This was Kevin Stefanski pretty much declaring public war on Shadur. I guarantee you Bailey Zappi is now, and they're not putting it up on the website. I guarantee he'll dress at Pittsburgh and he will be second in command at that.
They've got it. A young quarterback waiting in the wings, dripping with confidence and potential fire. Yet Stefanski's coaching style still feels like he's trying to win a chess match while everyone else is over here playing Fortnite. So when a respected player like Jeudy steps up and says something, it's not background noise, it's a flare in the sky. It's the locker room's polite way of saying, "Coach, we've got a problem." And right on cue, Stefanski's defenders came charging in like knights armed with spreadsheets. He's building a system, they argued. He knows what he's doing. But let's be honest, in today's NFL, systems don't sell. Stars do? They said, sure, and the Titanic had great architecture too. But sometimes you just can't out-scheme momentum. You can't coach charisma. And that's exactly what Kevin Stefanski doesn't seem to get. Shedeur Sanders isn't just another player. He's a brand. He's the kind of energy that can turn a punchline franchise into a headline again. He's Cleveland's best shot at becoming more than just the team with potential. And somehow, Stefanski's standing in the way like a human traffic cone. Meanwhile, Jeudy just keeps doubling down. You can almost see the moment he realized this wasn't just about one player. He accidentally lit a football culture war. On one side, the old school crowd, preaching discipline, stoicism, and short answers. On the other, the new wave.
Shadur Sanders will not see the field while Stefanski is the head coach unless Dillon Gabriel gets injured or something dramatic happens, like he throws 50 more passes for 200 yards again. There's no way, even if that, he's still not going to put Shadur Sanders in the game. If you look at the press conference that just happened, he's going with his guys, do or die. There's no way in hell that he's going to put Shadur Sanders in the game. And the more that the media talks about it, the less likely he is to do it. He wants to, he at this point, he wants
players with swagger, confidence, and personality that sells. And oh, the memes. Within hours, social media became a digital battlefield. Clips of Shedeur lighting it up in college were plastered next to screenshots of Stefanski's conservative play calls. Jokes were flying, people saying, the only thing Stefanski's developed is anxiety. Brown's Twitter hasn't been this electric since the dog pound thought Baker Mayfield was the savior. The internet was eating it up, and for once, Cleveland wasn't trending for heartbreak. It was trending for chaos. Here's the twist. All this noise might actually help Shedeur, because if there's one thing this kid thrives on, it's pressure. Doubt him, overlook him, or in Stefanski's case, snub him, and he'll turn it into rocket fuel. He's built for the spotlight, built for drama, built for moments that make highlight reels explode. You can see it in every sideline smirk, every confident step, every pre-game outfit that silently screams, "I'm not here to blend in." And Stefanski, he doesn't even realize he's creating the perfect storm. Every move he makes to control the narrative just gives Shedeur more of it. One day, the same coach trying to keep things quiet might end up unleashing the loudest phenomenon in the NFL. Imagine the headlines when that happens. The coach who tried to silence the story ends up starring in it. Jeudy might look like a prophet by then. While everyone else argued about locker room politics, he saw what really mattered.
They think it's tough to navigate or are really disheartened if you talk to the people at the very, very top of the Browns, and I mean the Haslams. Like, it's funny how whoever told Jason about the fear of being Baker or whatever it is, Jimmy Haslam loved the attention that Baker Mayfield brought. I call him Jerry Jones Jr. for a reason. He loves the idea of people talking about the Browns, people discussing the Browns, and this was one of the only ways you were going to get people to talk about the Browns this season. So I don't think the Haslams at the very top, I don't think they're fearful in any regard with this. I think they're getting exactly what they wanted on this. When they turn on ESPN, when they turn on Fox Sports 1, they turn on the big stations, people are discussing the Browns. They're discussing Shedeur. I think if you talk to Haslam,
talent that can't be benched forever, because once Shedeur Sanders steps onto that field, all the snubs and all the subtle dismissals will fade into background noise compared to what's coming next. Here's the truth. Cleveland doesn't need another system quarterback. What they need is a spark, a star, a reason to believe again. Because in Cleveland, nothing ever stays buried. And when Jeudy speaks, people listen, not because he's chasing drama, but because he might be the only one bold enough to say what everyone else is too scared to admit. And that's the beauty of this wild NFL soap opera. Sometimes the real truth doesn't come from the coach's office or some fancy analyst's desk. It comes from players who've had enough of the politics and just want to win. Judy lit the match. Shedeur Sanders is the flame. And Kevin Stefanski, he's the guy holding a very flammable playbook. That's when everything starts to spiral. Not because Judy became a villain, but because once the truth escapes the locker room, it doesn't go quietly. From ESPN to every fan podcast broadcasting out of a basement, everyone started dissecting everything. Every look, every handshake, every word. The storyline flipped overnight. What started as Stefanski's focused on discipline turned into, is Kevin Stefanski threatened by young talent? And Jeudy, he's somewhere out there smirking like, I said what I said. Meanwhile,
And I'm here to tell you, man, as I was sitting there watching that game against the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns, I got a message from one of my supporters talking about, I wonder what Tony Grossi going to say now about Dylan Gabriel. How is he going to protect Dylan Gabriel after this dismal performance against the Pittsburgh Steelers? And I got to thinking to myself, Tony Grossi has created this narrative about Dylan Gabriel being way better than Shadur Sanders, and that Dylan Gabriel is more ready to play the NFL game than Shadur Sanders. Dylan Gabriel today went out there.
Shadur Sanders is probably laughing behind designer shades, watching the chaos unfold like a Netflix docuseries about himself. And that's the tension Stefanski clearly never prepared for, because you can't coach around personality. You either embrace it or get left behind, trying to analyze it like a math problem you didn't study for. What makes it all even funnier is that Stefanski probably thought he was playing chess, keeping Shadur on the sidelines, letting him develop, staying conservative. But the NFL doesn't reward patience anymore. It rewards spectacle. You can go 2-14, but if your quarterback is trending every Sunday, your team stays relevant. Fans don't just crave wins anymore. They crave moments. And Shedeur Sanders, he's a walking, tweeting, highlight-producing moment factory. Stefanski's problem is that his system can't tell the difference between humility and hesitation. In trying to play it safe, he accidentally exposed how far behind some coaches still are when it comes to understanding this new era of football fame. Because make no mistake, players like Shedeur aren't just competing on the field anymore. They're competing for influence, attention, and legacy. While Stefanski's drawing up plays, Shedeur is drawing fan bases. He's redefining what it means to lead, not just with stats, but with presence. And now, every move Stefanski makes, every play that fails, every questionable decision, it's all going to look 10 times worse. And let's be real, Jeudy started that avalanche with a single comment. Behind the scenes, you can bet Cleveland's front office isn't sleeping easy. The PR staff's doing breathing exercises, assistants are whispering in hallways, and Stefanski's probably practicing his everything's fine face in the mirror. But deep down, everyone in that building knows.
Stefanski's showing you once and for all, I didn't want to draft him. I don't like his attitude. And above all, he fears his father. He fears that if Shadur ever gets a hold of the starting quarterback job in Cleveland, before you know it, Dion will replace Kevin Stefanski as the next head coach of the Cleveland Browns. If Shadur's ever going to get a shot here, it's only because Jimmy Haslam steps in and puts his...
Something just shifted. The players are watching, the fans are watching, even rival teams are sitting back, smirking, just waiting for Cleveland to implode, like it always seems to do. Except this time, it's not bad luck circling the franchise. It's a self-inflicted wound, because they didn't just snub a player, they snubbed the one guy who could have rewritten their entire story. It's poetic, really. Cleveland finally had a shot at swagger, a spark, a cultural reset. And somehow, they're still trying to cram it all into a spreadsheet. Jerry Jeudy didn't just expose a snub, he exposed a mindset, a way of thinking that's been holding this team hostage for years. Now the season's about to get louder, messier, and way more entertaining. Every sideline whisper, every handshake, every smirk between Shadur Sanders and Kevin Stefanski is going to be broken down frame by frame like it's film study for gossip. One eyebrow raise, one look, and boom, instant meme material. And let's be honest, nothing in football sells better than a redemption story that's about to erupt. So buckle up, Cleveland. This isn't the end of the drama, it's just the next quarter. And whether Stefanski likes it or not, the entire football world is locked in, waiting to see how long he can pretend he didn't just poke the bear named Shedeur Sanders. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Because this story, oh, it's far from over.